Today we're going to be working on creating a graded value scale, which is wonderful practice for learning how to shade objects so that they look realistic and three-dimensional, and it's the basis for most value that you're going to find in any pencil drawing or any painting or anything like that. And this is the basics of how to achieve a dark to light value scale with graphite pencil. If you can see here on this graded value scale right here, it's already labeled dark, medium, and light. You're going to start on the dark side and you're going to work towards the light side. A couple of tips to make shading a little bit easier. You want to start with a dull pencil, or if you start with a pointy pencil, you might want to scribble on a little piece of scratch paper so that you get like kind of a flat side on your pencil so that you have a wider surface to work with and so that the pencil goes down a little bit softer and smoother. You also want to work from dark to light. It's much easier to work from pressing very hard on your pencil to pressing light. It's much more difficult to go the opposite direction from shading lightly to shading more darkly and keep it even. So you want to make sure that you work dark to light. And then the last tip that I have is that you want to shade with your pencil directions going this way, up and down across the box. And you want to turn the page so that it's comfortable so that you can naturally pull the pencil towards your hand so that it's not awkward or upside down, not where you're turning your hand upside down. It's fine if your paper is upside down. You can turn that whatever direction you need to. So to complete this, I'm going to start over here in the dark area, and I'm going to be pressing very hard with my pencil, and I'm going to gradually release pressure off of the pencil until I've faded out to white. Okay, so you can see it's faded out to white. The one thing you're probably noticing right now is that I didn't make it all the way across the box, and that's normal. One of the most important things to learn about shading with pencil is that layers are key, and you're not going to get it exactly right the first time. So it's important to use layers to your advantage and to help you smooth out your shading. So I'm going to go back over this again, and I'm also going to work on filling in a little bit to the edges as I do that. And I may not get all the way to the edges this time. So I'm going to work with a little bit darker, and you can see how this is layering up a little bit darker this time. And I'm going to keep this going. Now, one thing you also want to work on is keeping your pencil lines so that they're stuck together, so there's not gaps of white. And as I say that, I'm doing that. You don't want to leave gaps of white between your pencil lines. You want them to fill in. So that's where our layers are going to come in. They're going to help fill in some of these white spaces because we don't want that to show in our final work. So I'm going to keep going with another layer. It does take a lot of concentration to get to the end and have it be super light. You really do have to focus on barely touching the paper with your pencil. Now you'll notice my medium value is still right about here, so I need to do a little bit more work to pull that across. So I'm going to work on that. And the video is going to speed up a little bit while I do that. So there we go, that's pretty good. Now to finish from the top to the bottom, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work the opposite direction, and I'm just going to try work in little small sections, matching the values that are below it, or in this case, or that are above it or below it. And I'm going to be working from dark on the edge to light so that as I overlap, I'm releasing pressure on my pencil so it fades in. Because what we don't want is for our value scale to have like a strip of outlines that are not the right values. We want to be blending this in so it's all the same. And it's a good practice to start out lighter than you want it to be because it's much easier to add pencil than it is to take it off. Going back across this way will also help smooth out any pencil lines that you have showing that you're trying to eliminate. Just make sure you keep your lines gentle and that you're trying to keep your pencil lines kind of stuck together, and that you're matching values as you work your way across. Alright, and there's our completed value scale. You can see it's smooth, even change from dark all the way across to the lightest light we can get with our pencil without leaving it blank. And there are no streaks, there's no outlines, everything is nice and smooth. And this is a graded value scale.